I met this lady off of Yahoo chat. I won't say her name, as I try to keep all of these women's names off of here, but I will be pretty specific, so if she sees this, she'll know that I'm talking about her. She was a corrections officer at the regional jail, and she had thick, red hair. I'm running a special on red-haired white women, but I seem to hook up with a lot of white chicks with red hair, as opposed to blonde or brunette. Or maybe some of my fondest sexual memories are with red-headed white women. Don't get me to lying, but she was of average height and she had nice thighs and hips and a nice wide, white booty that I couldn't wait to get my hands on. We talked and talked on the Messenger app and I tried to get up with her right away, but to my surprise, she made me wait for 2 weeks before we could even exchange numbers. She had up a profile pic of her holding her mixed-race child in her arms and eventually I got to meet this little human being. She had her head profiled in a way that showed her beautiful red hair, but at this point, you couldn't see how thick it was just yet. You had to see it up close and feel it for yourself. This hair of hers served as a turn-on for me soon after meeting her. After talking for about 2 weeks, as she had said, she finally took my number and gave me hers later on in the conversation. I guess she wanted to tease me. It worked. Something about our conversation steered away from sex and ended up being a case of me just listening to her and giving her feedback. She knew that I desired her sexually, so I eventually backed off of that approach, and it wasn't even forced, it was natural. I just listened and gave feedback, and women respond to this. It's not even game, it's naturally how my conversations with women went on chat rooms and messenger apps. It was organic? Is that what you call it? That's what we're going with for now, but she finally gave me the address via phone after we talked and exchanged pics. I guess at this point it was already on, because when I came over, she shoved me to the couch and removed my clothes with a little bit of me helping her remove hers. I was looking at her like, why aren't you a stripper, or something, but I never said that to her, but she knew that I found her attractive, because I told her all the time while we were having sex. I'm now on the couch after kind of just getting there to her condo, and now she's going down, so low on me that she's on my taint or the perineum, and I wasn't even expecting any of that at all. I just wanted my Peter service the normal way, but I didn't stop her. This became a regular thing as she liked to please me. I would call and come over all the time and we'd shower together, before and after. She even got to the point that she trusted me around her little baby girl and she let me change her diaper, little stinky baby, haha. She left her child with me to go to the store with her girlfriend that came over to get some lube, because she wanted to try some backdoor action, and I thought that was weird to trust me that much, but it turns out I'm not a crazy person or a child molester, so that's good. I felt I should mention that in case anyone is wondering. My rule is 18 to 80 plus. She and I love to do it in the morning for some reason. I can't remember if it was her work schedule at the jail or what, but we seem to be daylight lovers, mostly. We'd do it on her couch and most of the time it was missionary, so I get to play with her beautiful, thick red hair that I would constantly sweat out, because I would be dripping all over her, and she didn't care and even laughed out loud all the time while it was happening. Her red hair was so thick that my sweat would make it mat up and get nappy, and I had to help her unkink her hair with a brush and comb or manually sift out her hair. I had no problem doing this since it was technically my fault for being so sweaty. For some reason with her, I didn't reach climax fast at all, even though she had some of the best good and lovemaking that I've ever experienced. You know, with most women either the downstroke is good, or the upstroke is good, but with her, both were good, almost evenly. That's pretty rare for both the downstroke and the upstroke to be about equally as good as the other, if I'm saying that correctly. I just know that whoever ends up with her, be blessed. Some of the best Peter kisses and intercourse I've come across in my entire life, and I've been with hundreds of women, of all races and colors, etc., so I have a large sample size to talk about, as opposed to someone who's just been with let's say 20 women. Not that I'm knocking that. Or maybe you're a virgin and you're waiting for the right one to come along, you do you, and I'll do the women that allow me to do them, smiley face. But the only thing about having sex with her that I didn't like was when she was on top. Cowgirl or reverse cowgirl, she had a thing where she had to slam her kitty down on me, and it felt like she could fracture my penis, and she'd go from top to bottom, almost letting it come out of there. So if she didn't aim right, and it turns out she was well self-lubed and wet, but still if she didn't aim it right, I could have been injured. But as scary as that was, I never stopped her because all that being said, it felt good. It was good, but dangerous, so I allowed it, but that position she just happened to like, so we did that, a lot. Of all the many women I've been with, she is hands down one of my favorites. Top 10, for sure. Of my top 10, there's a few red-headed white women in there, and again, she's easily one of them. There's 2 that I met from MySpace and her that I met from Yahoo Messenger. It's so funny, but I've been with so many women that I can't even remember all of them, and more than half of them, if I were to run into them I wouldn't even recognize them, and I'm sure it would be the same for them. A lot of these encounters involved alcohol and depression, and acting out was a thing that I did to cope with life and bad experiences I had. No excuse, just an explanation, and you can think what you want from there. It happened how it did, and some of them I'd like to erase, because not all of these stories bring fond memories like this lady did. Of course, every good thing has to come to an end. Sad face. She quit her job as a corrections officer at the jail and moved up north, and I won't say where to, but if she sees this she has to know that I'm talking about her, but no one else should be able to piece it together because I kept it pretty specific to us. I miss her slamming her booty back at me when we did doggy, and I mostly miss making love to her on the couch while the Ricky Lake talk show is on her television, and then Jerry Springer would come on right after, or whichever order it was. I mentioned that I didn't climax fast with her. I could just stay in her for seemingly hours, and she was game and just laid there and did her thing from the bottom, or I'd tell her to stay still so I could get more leverage and give her all of it. We would do it so long that 30-minute shows would go by and we'd be still going, in pure bliss. I'm surprised I didn't knock her up, and I had nothing against those in law enforcement, but let's just say I had a really good reason to F the police. Smiley face?